Hey everybody, this is your host, the Platinum Knight, here with another Double First Impressions video, and today's Double First Impressions is Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster and Silent Hill: The Short Message. I'm gonna start with Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster because I have a lot to say. To sum up my history with the Dead Rising series, I played Dead Rising 2 first by borrowing it from my uncle when he still had Gamefly. If you don't know what Gamefly is, it is a video game rental service, and Dead Rising 2 instantly became my favorite and got me into the rest of the games. Then I played Dead Rising 1 on PlayStation 4. I liked it, but to me it felt basic compared to Dead Rising 2, and I thought Frank West was, okay. Then I played Dead Rising 2 Off the Record, which is an expansion for Dead Rising 2, but with an alternate story. What if instead of Chuck Green, it's Frank West? I'd say Off the Record is a game that really solidified making Frank a total badass and helps understand why people are a fan of him. I never played Dead Rising 3 before, seeing how it is exclusive to Xbox and PC. Last but not least, I did play Dead Rising 4. In fact, I actually streamed it here on this channel a long time ago, but I didn't get it right away because of all the bad reviews. However, years later, I got Frank's big package on sale for like $15. And if you don't know what Frank's big package is, it's just Dead Rising 4 that came with all the DLC. Although I will say it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, and I did have some fun with it, but it's still the weakest out of the series. Fast forward to 2024. Ever since the disaster of Dead Rising 4 being a critical failure and a flop, naturally this caused Capcom Vancouver, formerly known as Blue Castle Games, to sadly shut down. This led to many to safely assume that the Dead Rising franchise was officially buried for good. Until now. And what are my thoughts on the Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster? Well, I'm gonna start with the positives first. The graphics are definitely much improved. Maybe nothing current gen, but vastly superior. You can really tell that the developers put a lot of passion into this game visual-wise by putting new textures, new details, wallpaper, flooring, making everything look the way everybody thought we're looking at way back in 2006. Even the new character models look great. They no longer have big mouths. The survivor AI is smarter, the lighting is better, the controls are better and very modernized. I like how you can now move and shoot, and the dodge roll is no longer tap the analog stick twice as I would do that on accident in the original. Probably one of the most welcoming addition to this remaster is the auto save feature. It really comes in handy and saves a lot of time. Also, thank freaking goodness for the stairs when you're escorting survivors. I hated climbing up that small little cliff in the original. I guess another thing I liked about this remaster is a lot of the new voice acting. There were plenty of characters that didn't have a voice in the original and only communicated through text on a screen. I like how characters like Otis now has a voice and really gives him more character. Unfortunately, one voice I couldn't get used to that everybody else has been saying, and that is the main character himself, Frank West.
I've got to help Brad, or he's done for.
All right, fine. Give me your gun. Come on. I'm the reason you just got hurt. Let me help.
No, I can't let a civilian do that. That's against regulations.
Yeah, well, I don't think they had zombie-infested malls in mind when they wrote those regulations, kid.
You know how to use this?
Kinda. I've covered wars, you know.
Look, I really tried to get used to the new voice, and I'm not knocking Jace Patrick by any means whatsoever, but TJ Rotolo is definitely more iconic. Capcom didn't even bother contacting him, as he has said in an Instagram post. But remember though, Capcom also did the same thing with Dead Rising 4 by replacing him with an older, mature voice. I don't know why they have such resentment towards him, but hopefully Capcom at least gets him back for Off the Record. Okay, here is where I'm gonna delve deeper into the negatives. For whatever reason, some of the physics were reduced, like less blood, the windows don't break as well, and less mirrors. Some little details were forgotten, like less reflections, dirt doesn't come out of pots, queens don't even move in their bottle. If you want a better understanding of what I mean, then I highly recommend you check out Crowbcat's video. It pretty much details everything that was missing from the original. Link down below in the description. Anyways, I also experienced this weird glitch where the prisoners would constantly respawn, even if I just killed them a minute ago. Supposedly this was caused by the clock tower cutscene as you are fighting them. Thankfully this has been patched. Also, is it just me, but are all the bosses really easy now? To be fair, I knew what to do, but even in the original, if you knew what you were doing, even with Adam's chainsaw, they were still pretty challenging. Now the bosses are ridiculously easy. Alright, the last negative and the most controversial is the censorship. The censorship was definitely uncalled for. Remember, this is supposed to be a campy, goofy, fun game. Sure, it has some serious elements, but for the most part, Dead Rising is known for being a little cheesy. So of course, predictably, a lot of people are not happy with the censorship. Like Cliff no longer saying Viet Cong and being against communism, even though he is supposed to be a Vietnam veteran. Or Larry being white instead of Asian, even though he never raised any stereotypes. I don't know, man. When I played the original, I never cared about what any race the bosses were. I just saw them as evil. I didn't care what race they were. Never did it cross my mind that these bosses raised hatred towards people. Supposedly the reason why Larry was race swapped is because Capcom didn't want to offend China. That's not an excuse. They could have easily made two versions of the game. One for certain countries and the other for the rest of the world. Oh yeah, and the developers removed the erotic genre when taking photographs and got rid of some cleavage and underwear. Look, regardless of what side you're on, when it comes to censorship in general, this is still an M for Mature rated game. It's about the principle. You know, why is it such hypocrisy is becoming so prevalent lately? Remember, this game still has a lot of gruesome stuff like blood, gore, dismembered bodies. The intro itself is literally a mother and child about to be eaten. There's even a scene where a poor mother describes her baby getting devoured by zombies.
I'll find your baby for you later. First, let's get you someplace safe.
Just leave me alone! They ate her! Those damn zombies ate my baby! Right in front of me! Oh God! I never heard her cry like that. Please. Just leave me alone.
What, you want to stick around with them? With the ones that ate your little girl? Come on! I'm not gonna let you die here.
So let me get this straight. It's okay to show blood, gore, dismemberment, heads blowing up, eating children, and eating babies. That's somehow fine. Oh, but being against communism and showing a little bit of cleavage? Oh my god, that is going way too far. That's just too much. We need to censor that. The hypocrisy is honestly amazing and not in a good way. Unless you think blood and gore and eating babies and children is somehow better than making fun of communism and some cleavage. Well, then I'm gonna have to disagree with you. Anyways, getting back to the positives, I decided to pre-order the Deluxe Edition. Yeah, trying to say that 3 times fast. Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster Deluxe Edition. The Deluxe Edition is only worth it depending if you like dressing up as other Capcom IPs, like Resident Evil or Street Fighter. But to help you make up your mind, here is a showcase of what you get in the Deluxe Edition. In conclusion, is it worth getting Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster? Well, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have any fun with this game. It's still certainly enjoyable. I'll tell you this, if you don't care about the censorship and some forgotten details, then yes, I'd say it's totally worth it. It was nice revisiting Willamette playing as Frank West again. I mean, there hasn't been anything Dead Rising in 8 years. A lot of fans kept on asking for either a prequel, a remake, or Dead Rising 5. And right now, this is the closest that we're gonna get. I almost want to say that the new stuff and the new graphics outweigh the flaws, especially when it comes to new details like this.
I just thought Daddy and Jack liked to hunt for sport. But when all this happened, they became so excited. They said they'd been waiting for a day like this.
I'm sorry for your loss.
It's pretty clear to me that the developers did put some passion into this remaster, and I wouldn't consider this a complete cash grab. But if the censorship and the rest of its flaws is still enough for you to want to steer clear, then that is completely understandable, and I highly recommend waiting for either a sale or not buy it at all and stick with the original. Okay, I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about Silent Hill: The Short Message. It's a free experimental 2-hour game made in Unreal Engine 5. This tries to be Konami's answer to the PT demo, aka Silent Hills. This also tries to be an appetizer for the Silent Hill 2 remake. Unfortunately, it fails at doing both. While it's not as bad as Silent Hill Ascension, but it's still a below average walking simulator that tries too hard to be artistic and pushing a deeper meaning. The game tackles serious topics such as suicide and bullying. Now, Silent Hill is known for tackling very touchy subjects, but here it comes off as a little bit exploitive. I hated the trigger warnings every time you beat a chapter. Yes, it's it's nice how it has a number to a suicide hotline. It is giving to a good cause, but it comes off as preachy. It should have been optional. It also tries too hard to appeal to a modern audience. Your character literally goes on their phone checking social media. And whenever action scenes do happen, like being chased by Sakura Head, there is no quick turn and she runs a little bit too fast. I also really hate how you can't just run whenever you want. There is no sprint button and you spend most of the game walking slow. I guess the only good things I can say about this game is the graphics look great and the live action cutscenes are very well acted, but that's about it. I didn't care about the characters and there are parts in the story that went way too far and it just came off as forced. But hey, it's free, so if you're into psychological horror, then feel free to check it out for yourself. I'm still in the middle of playing the Silent Hill 2 remake as I am recording this, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it is 100 times better than the short message. Like, it doesn't even come close and it makes this 2-hour demo super forgettable. Silent Hill the short message is a small forgettable experiment that comes off as a waste of time. Alright everybody, that's it for this double first impressions video. That's it for my first impressions on Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster and Silent Hill the short message. If you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for new videos. This has been your host, the Platinum Knight, and peace out everybody.